Welcome to Community Spotlight. I'm Crystal Bolia. Today's all about the West Side Market, and it's got a lot of people talking. Darnell Brown is the Chief Operating Officer of the City of Cleveland, and he's here to answer some of the questions that people have and to tell us about some exciting things that are happening at the West Side Market. So, Chief Brown, thank you for being with us today.
Pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So, can you tell us about the strategic plans that the City of Cleveland has for the West Side Market?
Well, that's a broad question, and there are a number of ways that I would answer that. So there are structural plans for the physical plant, the facility itself, which we've been working at for a while. We actually commissioned a study study assessment that was completed in January of last year. And right now we're in design mode of designing about $5.5 million in structural improvements to the West Side Market. There's also the operation side of it, so kind of taking a good assessment of operationally, how do things run on a day-to-day basis, how efficient are we in terms of addressing issues and concerns, either through our own staff or in collaboration with the tenants who have stands in the West Side Market. And then finally, there's the whole program side of it. And so really looking at the makeup of the West Side Market, diversity of product, what customers' concerns are, et cetera, bringing other types of things to the market that attract and get people inside the building. So those are kind of three particular disciplines that kind of have their own path forward, but they're really all interconnected with the goal of making sure that we do everything that we can to improve the physical plant, improve the operations, improve the programming, which should translate to happy customers and more visits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mentioned some of the physical improvements or the capital needs that are needed there. Can you tell me a little bit more about those and what those repairs are?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that they're repairs. A lot of them are really replacements and upgrades. And so there are a number of packages that are being put together. As I said, it's about $5.5 million in improvements that are being designed, and they'll be implemented in stages. And so right out of the box, the first thing we're looking at are what we call mechanical, electrical, plumbing concerns. So anything that deals with electrical panels, service in each of the station stands for the vendors, lighting for the facility, looking at issues regarding water or water leakage or water getting into the facility is another part of that. And then looking at what I'll refer to as really the thermal comfort of the building. And so, of course, in the summer, the building's too hot, in the winter, it's too cold. And so there is a way through basically sealing a lot of putting in modern windows that are thermal, et cetera, repairing roofs for air getting in and out, and then just the envelope itself where the terminal and the warehouse are physically doing things to make sure that the airflow and the temperature of the air, again, doesn't get too hot, too warm. So there's a range that we want to be able to adjust so that temperatures, again, aren't too cold or too warm. And you can do that even in a facility that's over 107 years old.
Wow. So when do you expect these replacements and repairs to begin?
Well, in earnest, as I said, we took us a couple years to do the assessment. We went out for an RFP to hire an architect. End of last year, they've already started doing the design. They're designing the entire $5.5 million improvements, and that work will be done over the next couple of years. So some low-hanging fruit we'll be looking at, such as doors to the arcade, some of the electrical work, some of the plumbing work. Those contracts will be going out during the first quarter of this year. So work in earnest probably will be starting sometime in June, and it'll go through the next year or so. But we're excited about the path ahead and believe that these physical improvements will do a lot to address any concerns over the operations themselves that deal with again, things that affect the day-to-day operation of the market, of the vendors, of the something as small as wayfinding signage, lighting, et cetera. These are things that we believe will enhance a structure that's really a grand old facility. So we will structurally will improve it, but the physical architectural portion of it will remain intact, and that's important, keeping the integrity of the facility.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that, how is the city working to preserve the historical integrity of the building, and how much of a priority is that?
Well, it is the priority. I mean, the Westside Market, you know, it's on the national register, you know, so it's a historic site. We intend to keep the historic character of it, while at the same time upgrading a lot of the mechanical, electrical, and structural things that most people don't see or pay attention to. So that inside the building, it'll be modernized, upgraded, so that it does all the things that we need and to provide comfort and abilities for the vendors to both service, sell, and actually work with their product, and also do things that allow the customers to kind of, as they're coming in, understand what's going on inside the building. I think we're excited about some of the prospects of some of the flow of the building and how that might be enhanced. An example of that probably would be one of the things that we're looking forward to is some type of demonstration kitchen. We were looking at an area on the second floor in the mezzanine, but you know, concerns around accommodation and access dictate that it should be on the first floor. And so, you know, we're looking as we're designing about the flow of the building as well. And the end result becomes not just fixing the physical plant, but doing and design it in such a way that the customer experience is enhanced as well. Yeah.
You mentioned a few minutes ago about hiring like outside architects and consultants that would collaborate with the city. What do you see for that collaboration, working with the consultants?
Well, I think the most important thing is that it's another set of eyes that can take a lot of the inputs that we have, information that we've gathered, historical information on the facility and the plan itself. A lot of the things and concerns that are raised by customers in terms of quality of service, diversity of the vendors that are there, things that are not there, other types of things that will modernize and kind of get the Westside Market kind of in step with how people shop today. And so the whole discussion around online shopping or, you know, delivery pickup, the ability to talk about how to integrate a lot of those things into, you know, a program that works for the community. So again, we're not only maintaining kind of the integrity of what was there, and you know, it's been historically really kind of a meat, dairy, and bakery goods, and those are great things for that venue. But there are a number of other things that the community is saying that they'd really like to see. And so we're, I think, being responsive and having somebody kind of to do due diligence and vet those and come up with a recommendation on what best might meet the ability for us to not only attract and retain our existing customers, but to bring new traffic into the market for not just single visits, but repeat visits. So that's part of the planning process.
Yeah, that's interesting. In the last 10 years, 15,000 people have moved into that area of the near West Side, mostly millennials and young working professionals. So what can be done to just cause them to want to come back and be that weekly repeat customer?
Well, again, as I said, people don't shop the same way they did years ago, and so even the ones that do would like certain, I'm sure, the options or the ability to do things a little bit differently, and so the ability to bring something like online shopping to the West Side Market. Bring delivery service to the West Side Market, bring programming to the West Side Market, bring demonstration cooking to the West Side Market, bring prepared foods to the West Side Market. These are things that millennials and others would like to see. Space to sit down and actually socialize are things that we think add value to the West Side Market. So again, it's not just getting people there because the West Side Market has a local, national, international, attraction. But I think in terms of its stability, the ability to attract and retain repeat customers, again, if there are 15,000 new residents plus in the area, getting them to come into the West Side Market and depend on it for not just meat, dairy, bakery goods, but home goods and other things that might become staples of the West Side Market is the due diligence and the opportunity. It's the opportunity that we see.
Yeah, and speaking of opportunity, that makes me think of Mayor Frank Jackson's neighborhood transformation initiative in Glen Village, where it's called the Retail Incubator. And small businesses come in, they're sort of mentored by someone for a year or so that it can really launch their business to the next level. Do you see a model like this working well in the West Side Market?
I do. I think that's an important, again, opportunity. It's an important concept. It gives the ability not just for startup or incubator businesses, but it gives us an opportunity to really try or kind of test or model different types of products based on, again, the feedback that we're getting from community through community surveys and things that we get that kind of say what people would like to see. It also gives us the opportunity to develop what I'll call wraparound services. And so a lot of the things that don't exist now that are to the detriment of the market are such things as a good marketing strategy. I mean, if I look at, as an example, the number of tenants or vendors in the West Side Market that have some type of social media or website presence, 68% of them don't have that. And so providing that type of wraparound service for programming, marketing, to get, again, word out to the community about what's happening in the West Side Market, what type of specials, et cetera, is an opportunity for existing tenants and folks that might be in the incubator program.
And you mentioned that community piece too, how important that is to sort of incorporate the West Side Market in the greater community around it. I understand that there are a lot of collaborations with community partners as far as charity work. Can you tell me a little bit more about that with West Side Markets?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of that. I think our partnership opportunities are, plentiful. I'd use RTA as an example. They obviously have ridership. They have routes that are in and around the West Side Market area. So the ability to collaborate with them for special days, for West Side Market, special pricing for folks who might show something that affiliated with having taken RTA to the West Side Market. Similar with VA. Having relationship with them, organizations like the Hunger Network, which we did a program with the end of last year. And so, I mean, their mission and ours kind of do intersect. They do a lot of things like food rescue. They have relationships with restaurant chefs, grocers in the area who have, great product that they at some point have an overstock of, and rather than disposing of it, working a relationship out with the West Side Market so that some of that product can come to the West Side Market, actually be given away to folks in the area who can use some good products. Another way to get foot traffic into the building. It meets a need of a partnering organization. And once you get people in the building, there's obviously subject to walking around and buying other goods and services. So again, I've said a few times, we can spend this $5.5 million on improving the facility. We can do what we need to do on the operating side to improve our efficiency and service. We can work with the tenants to work out good terms and conditions with them. But if we don't get anybody into the building, we haven't really helped ourselves a lot. So this is all about improving our product, improving the product of the tenants, improving customer service, improving diversity of products and diversity of tenants, and doing it in a way that says to the community, hey, we're doing these things. This is the new and improved West Side Market. And oh, by the way, we have these relationships for specials and products, et cetera, that you need to come in and check out.
Yeah. So going back to those, the repairs that you talked about and all the improvements and the strategic plans, after those repairs are completed, what is your vision? What are the enhancements that you see happening in the West Side Market after those repairs are completed?
Well, I think a lot of it will be not visible to the public, but having a comfortable facility, temperature-wise, is good. Having proper lighting, wayfinding, et cetera, is a good thing to have as an outcome. Being in a situation where, to the public, they're able to see, as I say, wayfinding. How do you find it? A lot of folks come to the West Side Market, they come inside the building, they don't know there's an arcade that has produce and other product out there. So we expect that we'll see some of that work. And then, as I said, the work that we'll do, marketing wise and et cetera, will make the market look a little different. It'll have some of the same feel in terms of the old world, meat, dairy, bakery, but it'll have other things in it. The whole home goods aspect of it. Again, as I said, the lighting, et cetera, should make the market just look a little different, so that it's more inviting to the public, and then the experience when you get in the market should, and then the flow, as I said. We talked about the fact that right now, if you come to the market, you basically come in, you walk around, you buy your goods and services. Most folks kind of do that and then they're out. Well, having prepared foods and a place to sit down and eat those prepared foods and network and think about what else you might want to go and buy, take and partake in. Those are different experiences, and not ironically, but actually factually, these are the things that customers are saying, we wish we had those opportunities at the West Side Market. Can't you consider doing some of those things? Yeah. So I think those are good opportunities for us. It's a good way to use a great brand and use that brand to market and get people down, and then have the opportunity for folks to have a good experience. I know that myself personally, one of the things that I do when I travel, even if I'm in town and I'm looking for a particular place to get a good or service, I'm on Yelp or I'm on Facebook. I'm trying to see what they're saying. So the opportunity, again, to expand those markets and kind of push people to those locations and really have some good feedback and comment from the public on their experience at the West Side Market. These are all things we expect to see.
Yeah. It sounds like it's been really carefully planned out, and you've been considering what the residents are saying, what the vendors are saying, so it sounds like some pretty cool changes that are about to happen.
I think it's exciting. I do think that, I think you're 100% correct, This whole initiative, the consultant piece of it, really is designed to drive quality product, quality service, the opportunity for the public to give us feedback, input on their experiences at the Westside Market, and an opportunity for us to really to raise the profile of what's there and what the Westside Market has to offer. Really, as an archaeological wonder, it's just aesthetically, it's a gorgeous building, but also we got some great tenants there, some great product, and we want to build off of that. So we have a lot of positives to build on, and this is something that I would venture to say by the end of this year, we should see a lot of change in the overall programming, the beginning of the look, but certainly the relationship of the tenants with the public, the opportunity for the entrepreneurial process to get off the ground, the ability to work with vendor or vendors on the online shopping delivery piece of it. These are all things that have been developed and their strategies exist. So I expect a number of these things to come online this year. And I think it'll be a good year for the Westside Market, and the path forward, I think, is very bright.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, there you have it. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Community Spotlight. We're back discussing the Westside Market with Chief Darnell Brown. So it sounds like there are some great plans coming up for the Westside Market. What can the public be doing to support the Westside Market and the city's plans?
Well, that's a great question, and it's a simple answer. Patronize the Westside Market. Go there, shop. Don't go alone. Take a friend. Talk to your family and associates, and once you go, talk about your experience in the Westside Market. One of the things that most folks don't know, because I hear it from time to time, people talk about, well, there's no place to park. Well, the Westside Market has a parking lot that we spent about $2 million on about a year ago improving, and the first 90 minutes of parking in that parking lot are free. So you can come in, get out, do your shopping, come back, go home, and first 90 minutes of parking are free and on the city of Cleveland. So again, patronize the Westside Market, and we look forward to seeing everybody there.
All right. Well, thank you, Chief Brown, for stopping by. Thank you for all that helpful information that you gave us. And for more information, you can visit the City of Cleveland's website at city.cleveland.oh.us or westsidemarket.org for more information about the updates and their progress. Thank you for watching Community Spotlight. I want to thank my guest, Chief Darnell Brown. I am Crystal Bolia. We'll see you next time.